I'm gonna go read this book right now, put it that way. That's what I'm gonna do. My back's killing me. I need to lay down. I need to ice. I'm gonna go read this book. Okay, last night I painted this hallway. It was well overdue. Now I just need to sweep, probably clean the floor, and we'll check out the paint and see what spots I missed. I already see a couple here that I missed. It was dark. I couldn't really see. Gotta go ahead and put the railing back on. Any light fixtures, not light fixtures, but the light switches and stuff too. I think I'm gonna hold off on putting on the all the hooks and stuff for a little bit, let the paint dry. Can you guess what I'm gonna do next? Yep, taking an iced coffee break. Got my iced coffee. So, all I really need to do now is just clean up, really get the floor cleaned in there, get the stairs cleaned really good. And there's a reason for doing this. Well, two reasons. One, because everybody on YouTube here, including you, can see my hallway, and I didn't like the way it looked. Two, I need to do some work on the front hallway, and that means we're not gonna be able to use it for at least 2 weeks, if not a month. So I need the back hallway at least cleaned so that we can actually use it, so we're not tracking all that dirt and grime. The back hallway was originally just used for the main entryway, so we always wore shoes in it. But I want to change that so the shoes stay at the bottom of the stairs, so everything else stays nice and clean. It's whatever. I'm crazy. I think it turned out pretty good considering. If you check out some of the old vlogs, you'll see me in this hallway. And it didn't look that great. I find that if you put an ice pack inside your back brace, it helps just a little bit more. Now yes, I am hurting today, mainly because, you know, I decided to paint. But if you think about it this way, I'm not gonna be able to paint after surgery. Surgery is gonna come by the time I'm well enough to paint. It's gonna be winter time, and then I'm gonna have a new baby, so there's gonna be no time to paint, no time to open windows and air out the fumes and the smell and all that stuff. So I figured I'd suck it up and paint. I noticed yesterday that there was a hummingbird flying outside around my neighbor's flowers. So I thought today would be a good day to get the hummingbird feeder out, fill it up, and put it by the screen tent. So if we're sitting out there, maybe the kids can see the hummingbird. Maybe get some video too. Ah, there it is. I knew it was here somewhere. Okay, so here's the hummingbird feeder. The package says you're supposed to use 1 tablespoon, no, teaspoon. 1 teaspoon for every 2 ounces. There's about 8 ounces that fits in here, so I need 4. Robin's more than willing to go outside with me. Steven doesn't want to go outside. He's watching some YouTube channel, some gamer channel. It looks kind of fun. I mean, you're playing a game, and it's I'm assuming a father and son playing the game. And I think I can get him out. I found that. Hey, Steven!
Got this video.
Do you want to shoot the BB gun? I found some targets. Just a few more minutes. Man, I thought that would work. We'll see. We got the hummingbird feeder up. I've never been too successful really attracting the hummingbirds. Maybe this year will be different, who knows? You know, the same thing. One year I saw a hummingbird and I went and got a hummingbird feeder thinking that, you know, it would work, and it hasn't worked, but then again, I haven't been using it every single year, so that's probably my fault. See what I mean about using this screen tent? It's see what I mean about using this screen tent? It's kind of nice. Sitting out here having a little bit of lunch, and I'm under some sort of shade. It's not like the deep shade, and by deep shade I mean like the tall trees with nice foliage, and you get that really cool shade. This is a hot shade because half of this isn't sun. I mean, later in the day, like 5 o'clock, obviously this isn't more shade, but I get more shade from the trees. Not the best position, but gotta deal with what you gotta deal with until those trees that I'm growing really start growing. As you can tell from watching my vlogs here, I'm not a super current event type of guy. I don't keep up on the latest things and all that stuff. I'm very behind on certain things. But I saw Casey Neistat's video about this book here, Ready Player One. He recommended it. He recommended it so well that I decided to pick up a copy. My son watched the video and he wanted to read the book as well. The coolest thing is that drew me to the book is he said there's 80s references to 80s movies and stuff like that. And I mean, those are the movies I grew up with, you know what I mean? Like Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Indiana Jones, Goonies, stuff like that, Poltergeist, stuff like that I used to watch. And I enjoy watching these movies with my son so that maybe he gets you know, this, I mean, it's fun, you know what I mean? So to know that this book is highly referenced to the 80s is very cool. And then the other thing is, you can't really, can you see that? See that? But Steven Spielberg is going to be making this into a movie pretty soon. I mean, Steven Spielberg. If you remember the latest film that I watched of his, which wasn't that late, it was a while ago, was Super 8. But that was a fun movie. It brought me back to the movies that I saw, Goonies and stuff, when I was little. It brought me back, it brought that feeling back to me. And I mean, I'm sure there's movies today that do the same thing, like we just watched The Spiderwick Chronicles. That's a great movie. I like that for the same reasons that I liked the older 80s movies that I used to watch when I was little. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to read the book, and I'm not a huge book reader. It takes me forever to read a book, and I usually read it at night in bed, so I fall asleep. And I was thinking I'd read this book when I have surgery. It would give me some time and something to do in the hospital, but I don't know if I can wait. Now, the last book that I enjoyed and actually read was The Dreamweaver. It's a little bit of a different book. It involves more of a nice way to introduce philosophy, ideas, topics, and all that stuff. I read it a long time ago. Again, it took me forever to read because I read slow. And then before that, which was, oh man, maybe, I don't know how long ago, One Shot, One Kill. This book, like I said, I'm not a huge reader, but man, I could not put this book down. It's not nonfiction. No, it's not nonfiction. It is no. It is nonfiction. It's nonfiction. Fiction. Yeah, it's nonfiction. It's real. It's real accounts. It's real stories. I couldn't put this book down. I mean, just to realize what some people go through. What people go through, especially if you live in the States here. That what people went through for you and I to be doing what we're doing, to be living the way we're living. It's, you know, it really puts things in perspective, what people have to deal with, the horrors people have to deal with that I didn't deal with, that maybe you didn't deal with, or maybe your father or your grandfather or your mother and such dealt with, or you yourself dealt with. I mean, I think everyone and anyone that has ever served for this country. I feel like I'm going to be talking about this book a little bit more. I want my son to start reading it so I can start talking to him about it. I want my wife to read it so that I can talk to her. I thought for sure she would definitely be excited and interested in this book because it's sci-fi, it's 80s references. I mean, I'm excited. Come on, there's Back to the Future references in this book. I want it. And the movie trailer just came out. They debuted it at Comic-Con. So, like I said, I'm not a current event kind of guy. I'm probably like 2 weeks or 3. I don't even know when this behind on this topic, but I felt like I had to share it just so when I make references to it, you might have an idea of what I'm talking about. And this book is kind of old, 2011. So maybe you already read it. I don't know. But if you want to pick it up, check the link in the description for Casey Neistat's video where he's talking about this book. I'm excited. Okay, I gotta give you a little background on this book. I haven't finished it. I've only just begun, and I'm excited about it already. This book takes place in 2044, and in 2044, the world has gone to and I mean, it's like polluted. This main character lives in what he calls the stacks, and it's like, literally looks like motorhomes and just stacked on top of each other. That's why it's called the stacks. It's like poverty-ridden. It's like poverty-ridden. It's not a fun place to live. And people have real jobs, and then they also have jobs in what they call the Oasis. And it's this virtual world that this really old guy that grew up in the 80s, who was like a teenager in the 80s, he developed this virtual reality that these people put these headsets on, and they live in this virtual reality world more so than they do in the real world. And you can actually have jobs in this virtual world and get paid and stuff like that. And you just, when the world is the way it is, it's a way to escape reality and find some sort of happiness. And so what really happens is the creator of this world dies, and he has no heirs, he has no one to leave his fortune to, and he sends out an email to everyone that's plugged into this game, saying that if you can figure out these puzzles and clues, you get my fortune. If you can find the Easter egg I hid in this game, you get my fortune. And that's about where I am in the book. Like I said, I just started it, and I'm excited to find out what actually goes on, what actually happens. And this is like a couple years after that person died and announced that there's an Easter egg in the game. It essentially became an urban legend because no one found anything at all. They didn't get anywhere to unlocking the secrets that he left, the game creator left in the game. So I'm really excited to find. I'm really excited for the adventure that's going to take place, because you know there's going to be some. It's just going to be like a roller coaster. I want to find. I'm going to go read this book right now. Put it that way. That's what I'm going to do. My back's killing me. I need to lay down. I need to ice. I'm going to go read this book.